think that the government is in a bit of a panic following the publication of the recent net migration figures. Annual net migration now standing at 504,000,
Yeah.
which is roughly the equivalent of the entire population of Liverpool. Vanessa, it's worth noting there's a number of one-off factors feeding into that. Ukrainians fleeing the war against Russia. We've had many people come from Hong Kong who are escaping from Chinese state tyranny. There's also the Afghan resettlement scheme. But much of the numbers is a result of a post-COVID bounce in
Hmm.
international student numbers following the removal of travel restrictions, COVID travel restrictions. So the government, it appears that it would want to clamp down on the number of international students coming into the country.
So how does the law stand, the law of immigration stand on somebody coming, let's say, to read architecture, let's say
Mm.
at one of the great, let's say, Liverpudlian universities, and then that student then says, well, I want to bring my family over or my dependents over, or how does that work?
Well, the reality of the matter is none of this is against the law. So the government ultimately is responsible for this area of immigration. And I think that this is an area where there can be a degree of tightening. I think the issue I have, Vanessa, is that if we were to ban university students, especially in what are considered to be lower ranked universities, essentially saying that foreign students can only come here to study if they win a place at an elite university.
Hmm.
That could impact negatively on universities in poorer provincial towns who rely on those international students as an important stream of income, which in turn, if they're deprived of that stream of income, they may not be able to employ as many people at those educational institutions, which could have negative impacts on the local community, which doesn't really nestle in particularly well with the government's levelling up agenda. So they have to take a number of things into consideration before moving forwards with this.
So how far down the line are we with this? It only was suggested yesterday, wasn't it?
Well, the government is very reactive, as you know, Vanessa, in various areas of public policy. As I said, I think there's definitely an argument to be had about tightening the rules surrounding bringing dependents into the UK. But the issue here is if there are universities who are going to be deprived of the fees which are usually paid by international students, then what are the options? Is it the case that the government will replace that money? Will our own domestic students be charged higher fees? I don't think neither of those options are particularly popular for the government. So I think they have to think this through a bit more carefully.